morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Sibati. Welcome back to Precious Creations, a good space for arts, crafts, or travel with a dash of good food, chit chat, and a little bit of kiki just to cleanse that soul. Your presence here is highly appreciated, and we hope that you will love it and make this your home. For my girlies that love chunky armpiece, this video is for you. Today I will be giving an in-depth tutorial on how to make a chunky bangle. I love it so much. It is so cute. I love it, and I hope you will love it too. So for those of you that are like me, that enjoy arts and crafts, that enjoy creating, take out all your supplies and let us create. Otherwise, you can just sit back and enjoy watching this video. I hope that it will be informative, and I hope that you will take away something from it. But thank you so much for your support. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as that will help with the channel immensely. So, but thank you. Today's drink of the day is a iced coffee, all things homemade. Starbucks would never. They were all shaking. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get it started. For today's project, we will need the following supplies. First is the your thread. I always prefer to use the elastic one. Also, you will need your wide-eyed needle. You'll only need one for this project. You'll need the right sized seed beads, whether you want them to be big or small, and whatever color that you prefer to use. So I'll be using these brown ones that I've had for the longest of time. So here we don't waste. We recycle, we repurpose all the things. And I will also be using these blue or teal, I don't want to say pearl, but on the bigger side, marble pearl-ish beads. So this will be at a later stage though, so I'll just put these aside for now. I already have my thread on my needle, and you know how I always preach about having the right size of thread, but I think I figured out a way of having a long enough thread that does not require extension, but will not affect you in any negative way, meaning it will not get tangled. So what I do is I get a long thread. On the one side, I have a thread that is long enough for me to utilize for the first part of the project, and then on the other side, I'm right-handed, by the way, so on my left hand side I will have the tail. You normally do have a tail, but on this tail, my tail is just as long as the thread that I'll be utilizing. And to distinguish which is which, I put this bead, any bead really that you need, a bigger bead, just so you can distinguish where your start is, where your end is. And I will use this as a separation. This would be my borderline. So I take the end of the tail, and I will go underneath, or I'll go through this bead, the bead that I just inserted. You can use a needle for this, but this is wide enough for me to use without using a needle. So, and then I just do this, and I have this bead. So on this side, this will not bother me at all. this part of the thread will not bother me because I already have my my pearl here. So I can just either tie this up or just keep it out of the way and focus on the side that I'll be utilizing for my project. So I hope that this will help you. If you do run out of thread, then you can just utilize the one side, and I'll show you this. I think it will make sense when I show it like in practical forms as opposed to me explaining it, because it can be very difficult to explain. But anyways, so to start this bangle, you will start with 27. You'll start with 27 beads. You know, I can. This would be much better for me to demonstrate this with two different colors of beads, but I want it to be solid. I don't want it to have a lot of colors. So I hope it's not going to be too difficult for you to understand what is happening. It's normally easy to do a tutorial with two different beads just to distinguish the pattern, especially when there's a pattern involved. Using two for a tutorial is easy, but listen, these two shall work. So I'll start with my 27 beads and I'll pick these up in a set of 3. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, my first set of 3 beads. Pull it aside. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. And you pull everything down. Again, it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Pull everything all the way down, and please be careful when you're pulling the thread. It is elastic. The if you've been here before, you know the wide-eyed needle is sharp on both sides, so the snapback can be a little bloody. So you have a string of beads right here. Let me remove this so that you can see. You have a string of beads. Then you will count from your right hand side to your left hand side. 3, 6. You'll poke on your 9th bead. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Two, 4, 6, 8, and then you'll poke on your 9th bead. Your needle will go through the 9th bead and pull your thread all the way through. Again, if your thread gets tangled, fix it immediately. Don't fight it, because if you do fight it, the thread will win. And this is what you'll have. You'll have this hoop right here. And then you go in, you pick 5 beads. You go in with your 5 beads. And then you count. You go 2, 4, 5. And pull your 5 beads all the way through. And remember, if you find a bead that is too tight, you're struggling to pull through, to pull the needle through it, leave it alone, sis, because it will give you problems in at the later stage. So, and then you count from your base, the string of beads. You count 2, 4. On your 6th bead, you poke your needle through. Another 5 beads. So this will be the pattern. You'll go in with 5 beads and poke on your 6th bead on your foundation lane. Count again, 1, 2, 4, and you go in on your 6th bead. So you get your 5 beads, and then you go in on your 6th bead, which is my very last bead. 2, 4, 6, and I'm gonna poke through the very last bead. Remember this, the pearl is just there as a border line. This is this is America, and this is Mexico. A little bit too tight there. And pull your thread right on through. now you have to step up. This is where I am. This is my outer side and this is my inner side, and I have to go this way. Again, 5 beads. Beads. You're gonna poke on your 3rd bead. You're gonna count from this side. This is your 1st bead, your 2nd bead, and you poke on the middle one. Then you pick another 5 set of beads. Okay, you count from this bead. 1, 2, 3 on the middle one. You poke, pull your thread right through. Another set of beads. Again, you count 1, 2, and the 3rd one you poke and pull. And you've got this beautiful, beautiful pattern. Again, for you to turn around, you can leave it like this and work like this, or just turn it around and work like that. And again, 5 beads. So this will be a repetition of 5 beads throughout until you get your required length. Of this, the bead where your thread is coming out of, you ignore that. You start counting from this one. So it's 1, 2, 3. On the 3rd bead, you poke and then pull your thread right on through. If you're using elastic, when you're pulling your thread, make sure you help it. Pull the thread, not the needle, because like I said, if there's too much pressure on the thread, the needle will cut it. So, and you don't want that. That would be disastrous. Again, so you'll go in at a 5, poke on the 3rd bead, on your foundation bead, and just like that. That's all you'll be doing throughout until you get the desired length. Now I went ahead and used an elastic thread, giving me a little bit of leeway, meaning I do not necessarily have to measure. You need to make sure that your forearm bracelet will go through your forearm so that it can get to your wrist. And as you can tell, this part is bigger than this part. So because the thread that I chose to use is elastic, I don't necessarily have those problems because mine can stretch. So if you're using a thread that does not stretch, I would advise that you measure your hand, this part of your hand, so that or your bangle, it can come on and off without any hassles. So yeah, or just go and purchase you an elastic thread. You know, makes life easy. So I'm gonna continue doing this until I get my desired length. So I will fast forward this because this is literally the same thing over and over again, and I will not bore you with those details. So I'll continue on doing this and I will come back. Also, if you do have any questions, anything that is not clear, please don't be shy to comment down below. I will definitely answer all the questions that you might have, clarify anything that might not necessarily be clear. Like I said on previous videos, that I'm not a teacher. This is my first time teaching, and I might not necessarily have the words or articulate what I need to articulate in a manner that is understandable. So each one teach one. I'll be clear to clarify whatever that is not clear on this video. So, and yes, I will respond. My channel is quite small, that I will not be overwhelmed by any comments that are shared, any questions that one might have. You'll definitely get a response from me. So yeah, I will be back with the next step. Be right back. This is how far that I have gotten. This is my creation for now, and it fits nicely on my wrist. I just need now to connect the two ends, and that will be our next step. Now, I still have a good amount of thread left from whatever thread that we started with, so there's no need for me to extend, but I also have additional thread on my left hand side. I may or may not need to utilize this, so we'll see. But for now, to join in, I just need to do this. So to join the two ends together, you take 2 beads, you poke on the 3rd bead on this side. My thread is coming out of the side. I need to join in on this side, so I will count my beads. One, two, and I'll poke on this one in the middle, the 5th one, and I'll pull. Take another 2 beads, and again I will poke on the 3rd bead. 1, 2. I hope you can see what I am doing. Able. I poke on the 3rd bead. And as if you can see, I am pulling the thread and not the needle. All the way back. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. So I'll just go back and forth 2. So when it comes to closure, it will be 2 beads, a set of 2 beads. There we go. 2, and you poke on your 3rd bead or your middle bead on your. It's all closed now. Like I said, I still have quite a bit of thread left. I can either choose to continue with this, the one that I've been utilizing, but I do have worries that I'll run out of this thread along the way. So I'm just gonna switch threads, because this one on the left hand side is longer than the one that I started with, for obvious reasons. It is fairly long, so I hope it doesn't give me problems, but I think at this stage I know how to manipulate these things. Oh my god, see, when it gets tangled, oh, you want to strangle someone. Okay, I switched my threads. Now I still have my border. So I'm just gonna remove it by doing the reverse of what I did when I started. And once again, avoid putting a lot of tension on the thread by pulling your needle. Rather pull the thread itself, because like I said, the wide-eyed needle is sharp on both sides, so it will cut your thread and it'll make it shorter, and you don't want that. So pull the needle as far as you can, and then pull on the thread instead of continuing on pulling through the needle.